Adam, you came here in 2006?
Yeah, I came to Los Angeles in 2006, yes.
From Hawaii?
First day actually in town, I got hired at Dreamworks in post-production. My brother got me a job there. So like day one, I like walked up to Universal. I was looking for Dreamworks and then like I went over to the right gate finally and they let me in. I met the head of post-production at Dreamworks, Mark Graziano at the time. And I told them, you know, I want to make a filmmaker and all this kind of stuff. And they needed help at the time. And he was like, you know what? You want to work here for a while? We need a little extra help. And I was like, it was like a 20-minute conversation. And then he hired me. And I worked there for a couple months on Disturbia, which was shooting at the time. And then Indiana Jones was in pre-production. And then they also had, what is it called? It's a movie with Ben Stiller. It's not a Coen brothers, the Farley brothers. Yeah, it was a Farley brothers movie. And they did that movie too, but anyway, I was running dailies and doing all kinds of stuff like day one, and so it was kind of crazy. I was driving like a 1989 Ford Taurus, running dailies around town. Like I had the 35 millimeter projected film in my car for Eddie Murphy's Raw. And so it was like day one and I'm delivering this raw footage, you know, of the 35 millimeter. I'm like, God, they trust me already to like deliver this footage. Like if this got lost, you know, they would never have that 35 millimeter again. So it was very interesting. That was day one for me. And so I worked there for a while. And then from there, I ended up working for Todd Phillips, who did Hangover, Road Trip, Starsky and Hutch, all those movies. And I worked in the front office for them doing mostly script coverage. So like I did notes on Hangover before Hangover ever came out. And yeah, I was like heavily pushing to cut one of the scenes in the movie. They ended up cutting it later. I don't know if it was because of me or not, but I love the script. Like they really wanted to do a different movie at the time. And I was just like, what about Hangover? Hangover every day. I was so stoked about Hangover because it was such an original script at the time. It was kind of like a murder mystery comedy, you know, and at the time no one had ever done it. And obviously the movie was huge, so a lot of people liked it. So
you'd been in town one day? And
yes, that was my first day in town, and my brother got me a meeting with Mark Graziano, the head of post-production. And it was just supposed to be a general meeting. And so I met in and talked with him, and we talked for 20, 30 minutes, and he knew that I was new to town, and he was just a really nice guy, and he was like, we need help around here. Do you want to work here? It was my birthday too, actually. So I know it was October 18th, 2006, so I know exactly what day it was, so yeah.
And so you'd come from Hawaii, or you'd come from Pennsylvania?
I came from Hawaii. I went to college in HPU, Hawaii Pacific University, and yeah, I came here to try to make it in show business. So you'd been in LA 24 hours. What was it like? Because I hear Hawaii, everybody's very relaxed, and it's just a totally different culture. Then how was that? It's very different, but when you first get here, it's just so much excitement. You know, like I think when you first get to Hollywood and Los Angeles, you're like, there's just this energy that like your dreams could come true at like any turn of a corner. You know, you could meet somebody that could give you a film as an actor or as a director, or everyone around you is so important to you. You know, you don't know who you're talking to half the time, and so there's just an excitement to it. And later on, I mean, I still love the city, but it's very much a different feeling in a way of now that I've made my first feature of WALLY Got Wasted. It's very much like I have a different point of view of not so much like who are you and what can you know, are you somebody who can make my dreams come true? I kind of have the feeling of like, you have to do it yourself. Like you have to make it yourself and just make it happen. So it's very different in that way. And aside from your brother putting in a good word for you, what do you think helped sort of seal the deal? Because that helps, but then that doesn't always, it gets people in the door, doesn't always get the people a job or able to keep the job. What do you think? I think, you know, I see, it's funny because a lot of people come here with a lot of confidence, come to Los Angeles and come to Hollywood with tons of confidence. And slowly I see that beaten out of a lot of people. You know, they become people's assistants, or whatever they do, they get beaten down like you're not so special, you're not good, whatever. But I've always just had undeniable confidence, and I think when you talk to people and you have such confidence, maybe they scratch their head and go, maybe you're right, or but you got to have that confidence in yourself and the fact that you won't give up, and I've always had that. I've always had, like, you say this can't be done, watch me do it. I'm gonna do it anyway. So, and that's been true with my whole career, really. I mean, WALLY Got Wasted, there was people that told me with the film, they said, listen, we shot WALLY Got Wasted for 70 grand, by the way.
It looks
so
amazing.
It looks like a studio movie. We shot it for 70 grand. And there was people that, I remember our first AD told me, he said, listen, the script's great, but you can't do this, okay? You're way over your head, you don't have enough money, you have 38 locations you want to shoot in 22 days, you can't do this. And I just said, well, you're not the right guy for the job, I'm doing this is gonna get done. And we did do it. We shot 38 locations in 22 days, and it was very hard, but we did it, and I never gave up. And even though some people around me wanted to give up at times, we did not give up, and we got it done.
Why do you think he told you that?
Because I don't think that was possible in his brain to do that. I don't think, and so many people want to make films, but then when you get in the thick of making a film, it's very hard. I mean, I was sleeping 2 hours, maybe 3 hours a day for a whole month straight. You're basically kind of killing yourself, and I was acting in the film, so the makeup artist is like, I can't make you look like you looked on day one, because you're killing yourself and it's showing up on camera. The makeup can only do so much. So you can't have give up in your head. It cannot happen at all. It can't be a possibility, or you will give up in this town. Like, people that come here and say that I'm gonna give it a year in my acting career, or whatever. I'm gonna give it a year and see where I'm at. No, if you have a backup plan, you're gonna fail. There's no backup plan. Like, there's no possibility of everything else. You need to constantly be moving forward and thinking about how I'm gonna achieve this goal. And that's all, that or you'll fail, or you'll give up. So, if it takes 30 years, I have no backup plan, that's all that there is. So that's kind of the personality you gotta have and the mentality you have to have, so.